writing is so great because even though we're in the Penguin, we're dealing in the underworld of nothing but criminals. Yet, maybe if you see their backstory or something else happens, you see this, this like promising side to where you're like, hey, you know what, he did kind of get a raw deal, or Sofia did get done dirty. I can empathize for her. I can understand why she would do something. It's like a redeeming quality of these, hardened criminals and mob bosses and crime family members, stuff like that. Hey, what's going on, folks? Another episode of Ryan Reviews Everything, and we're getting right into it. We're talking about The Penguin, episode 4. And I'll say this, each episode gets better and better. The writing is so good. And I keep having to, come back and lie to myself. I thought the episode 3 was the best one so far, or my favorite one. Now episode 4 comes out. Episode 4 seems to be the best so far of the season. So it keeps getting better as these episodes progress. But let's get into it. I really enjoyed it. They literally pick up right where they left off on episode 3. You see it from the other angle. You see the conversation that's had between the wife of the Maroney families, how she pulled up, and she pretty much put the Penguin on Front Street. She's like, oh yeah, we was watching you, we saw you do this drug deal and partner with Sofia, you tried to 2-time us, and then the big bombshell, of course, was her saying, and you wanted us to take blame for for Alberto's death. I'm sure Sofia doesn't know that you're the one that really did it. And of course, the Penguin is already starting to talk out of two sides of his mouth. He's denouncing Sofia right there on the spot. Hey man, I just used Sofia so we can get the drug deal. I was gonna come back to y'all, this and the third. They ain't trying to hear all that stuff, and that's when we see Victor come save the day in terms of the Penguin, at least. And yeah, man, I really thought, it was just a great sequence from watching Sofia, get on the phone, call Julian. I think that's like her new bodyguard since the last one died or passed, and she's letting her know like, hey, it was Oz. And right before she passes out, it just goes into the flashback. I thought that was such a great way to intro us into the actual flashback. And one thing I also appreciated, I'm fast forwarding a little bit. One thing I also appreciated, I thought this entire episode was just going to be a flashback of Sofia, but I liked how I just love the transitions from that. I enjoyed how they transitioned back to current day after that flashback. But anyway, that's, once again, ahead of myself. You see the flashback showing how the Penguin was nothing more than the driver, and she's doing like mental illness campaigns, this and the third, and all that type of stuff, just showing what she is. And that's when Summer Gleason comes by, the reporter, and kind of gets Sofia rattled a little bit, and Summer Gleason is putting 2 and 2 together. Hey, all these girls came from the club, not from the club that you normally go to, but I think it was like the 44th Street Club or whatever it's called. And then that's really what got Sofia visibly shaken, and she was also, right, I guess you could say, not rightfully so. You shouldn't talk to anybody, in a disrespectful way. Try to treat people with respect to get respect. But yeah, like, I think even at that point, she's visibly shaken. I think the Penguin's trying to give his 2 cents about not talking to a reporter or something like that, and she kind of just, talks down to him, this and the third. So I thought that was an interesting dynamic. You definitely saw how it was Sofia up here at first instead of the Penguin and Sofia current day kind of being on the equal playing field. And yeah, man, that whole thing about that, and she's starting to put 2 and 2 together after she witnessed, her mom being hanged or whatnot, or the aftermath of it. And once you start putting 2 and 2 together, you even notice how when she starts asking Carmine Falcone questions about it, how the death kind of reoccurred to him. He's at first trying to sympathize and be like, yeah, she was stubborn, she didn't want help mentally, this and the third. I'm sorry for it as well. It affected me too. But the more questions, she asks about it, the more agitated you can see him get. And, we all saw the episode, so I'm not going to just do a play-by-play, scene by scene. But clearly, with her asking questions to Carmine to the point where he was getting annoyed, in combination to her meeting with the reporter, and, of course, the Penguin, literally running back behind Sofia's back and dropping dime on it to Carmine Falcone during Carmine's birthday party, might I add. Clearly, even when it comes to family, if you ask too many questions, we got to get you out of here. So I guess instead of having Sofia, unalived, I think that's a safe YouTube term, but instead of having Sofia dealt with, Carmine is this powerful boss in Gotham. He pulls a couple strings behind the scenes, and next thing you know, she's being framed for the death of all these other women that she had nothing to do with, because she realized it was her father all along. And I tell you, that whole prison scene, or Arkham Mental Health Institute, whatever it was, it looked like a damn prison. It was like, but anyway, that's literally walking, talking, living proof of whatever don't kill you make you stronger. Because they was in here giving a shot, unsolicited shock therapy. It looked like every day, just a whole montage. She getting shock therapy until she can, falsely admit that she, is responsible for the death of these 7 women. The guards are letting this woman who is clearly unhinged beat up on her because she's the only one walking around unchained. All that. She's maybe a little bit paranoid. She even is starting to realize that maybe Magpie is like a rat trying to befriend Sofia in order to get a confession of some sort. Like, they really went all out to really throw Sofia under the bus, and it seems like as a result, she kind of was like, I guess you could say, the black sheep of the family in that sense. So after all of that, of course, we see the her current therapist, who was also, giving her shock treatments along with another doctor. He's starting to feel bad, of course. It's like, what if she's really telling the truth? And I hope they get to that as well at some point. Like, maybe they'll show how she actually escaped. But nevertheless, I think she went to sleep on, in her cell. And next thing you know, when she wakes up, she's we're back in present day into the doctor's office. And I think my favorite part of this episode, all of it was great. I think one of my favorite parts was actually her crashing this birthday dinner party or some type of big dinner party. I think it was for Luca himself, Luca Falcone. But she crashes a dinner, basically. And I really enjoyed that whole monologue of her. Just pretty much like this one final monologue of letting everybody know my father was responsible for that. Y'all, to my surprise, y'all writing letters about my mental health in order to further support or put blame on me for it. And instead of her letting them know the plan that she has something up her sleeves, she kind of does like this, this deflection or distraction, and just falsely letting everybody know, yeah, I'm gonna make a new start. I'm gonna go to Italy, this and the third. And I was wondering, I had a feeling that she had something up her sleeves once she got the daughter out of the house, and then went to sleep in the greenhouse. I thought she was gonna go to the greenhouse and then just have her stay there. And once she went to sleep, I thought she was gonna go back there and, I don't know, do some John Wick stuff and just shoot up the entire mansion. But, me being too rash of a thinker, she actually had a even more sinister plot. She actually had carbon dioxide run through the house overnight. And so when she wakes up and goes back there, everyone is dead except for Vitti. I thought that was pretty dope. And now, I feel like she's gonna, coerce Vinny to work under her. Like, despite that he clearly didn't like her, he does seem like some type of a valuable asset, somewhat of a respectable person in this whole crime family thing. So I think that's what's gonna happen. But nah, man, the episode was so dope. And I will say this, just going back real quick, I think the writing is so great because even though we're in the Penguin, we're dealing in the underworld of nothing but criminals. Yet, maybe if you see their backstory or something else happens, you see this, this like promising side where you're like, dang, you know what, he did kind of get a raw deal, or Sofia did get done dirty. I can empathize for her. I can understand why she would do something. It's like a redeeming quality of these, hardened criminals and mob bosses and crime family members, stuff like that. Like, of course, Victor seems soft spoken and stuff like that. But when you saw, how his family died and stuff in the previous episode, you're like, damn, that's kind of messed up. I'm rooting for Victor. I feel the exact same way about Sofia now, but it's, times two, from what I felt for Vic. I'm like, dang, I really feel for her. Yes, she is the daughter of this dangerous crime family, of this dangerous boss, Carmine Falcone. But because she asked too many questions, because she met a reporter, which apparently is like a big no-no within the crime family, they did her, they dealt with her without taking her life. And that was the result of her being tortured throughout her time at the Arkham Asylum Mental Health Institute, or what have you. So I don't blame Sofia at all at the end of this episode, and I thought this was so dope to watch. Let me know what you thought about it. What are your predictions? Especially being that the cat's out the bag. Sofia now knows what Penguin really did, so I really can't wait to see what happens next. The Penguin has nothing left to hide behind. He can't run to the Maroni family. Falcones are at him now, so I'm like, it doesn't seem like the Penguin has like this, team of like henchmen and mobsters behind him. It's literally the Penguin, Victor, and a handful of streetwalkers, for the lack of a better term. So it's like, I need to find out how the Penguin's going to get out of the remainder of the season. How is he going to squirm his way or manipulate his way out of what looks like all families against the Penguin at this point? So love it or hate it. Let me know what you think. Peace.